the waves cut through.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for today's look, I'm gonna be using Dahlia as my model, as my canvas today. And we decided to do kind of like a warm smoky. I actually did this look for her graduation pictures not too long ago, and I loved it a lot. So I decided, why not bring it to you guys here on YouTube? Now, there's not a lot to say about this look, except if you want to see how I did it, then all you have to do is just keep on watching. To start off with, I'm using the Clinique Pep Start Hydro Blurring Moisturizer, and I'm applying this all over the face using a flat foundation brush at first. And then I'm gonna take my fingers and my hands and pretty much just press this onto the skin. Now, this is technically a moisturizer and a primer mixed together, so it just makes a really nice base for the foundation later on. Then I'm taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Pomade in the shade Chocolate, and I'm gonna use this to fill in her eyebrows. Now, you can see that one of them is gonna be a little bit messed up in the bottom, but don't worry, we're gonna go ahead and fix it a little bit later on, don't worry. Now I'm taking a little bit of a concealer, and I'm using this on a little flat brush to just carve the brows out and make them look a little bit sharper and a little bit more defined. And I'm also dragging the concealer down the lid, kind of like an eyeshadow primer, so that way the shadows stick onto it and they look a lot more intense and pigmented. Then with my E23 brush from Morphe, I'm just using this to blend the concealer out.
Hold tight, hold tight.
I'm gonna set the eyelids with a little bit of translucent powder just so that the eyeshadows can glide on very smoothly since the base is not so sticky. And then I'm gonna be using the Morphe 3502 palette. I'm gonna be using the shade Universal on my Morphe M433, which is like a fluffy crease brush. I'm gonna use this to blend the color on her crease. Now, as you can see, I'm pretty much going in window wiping motions and kind of in circular motions to spread out the color evenly and to make sure that it is blown out and smoky. Now I'm gonna take the shade Brick on the exact same brush, and I'm actually gonna put that right in the crease to intensify just a little bit more. As you can see, I'm keeping the shade Brick just a little lower than Universal so that there's a nice blend, like a nice fade, once we reach up to the brow bone. Now I'm taking the shade In the Zone, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply that right in the outer corner of the eye using a slightly smaller brush, and I'm really maintaining the concentration of the color right in that area, and I'm just bringing whatever is left right into the crease because I still want it to have a little bit more dimension. However, we're gonna keep most of this color right in the outer corner, and as you can see, I'm pretty much building it up right there. Then I'm taking the shade Rustic, which is like a beautiful copper orange color, on a flat brush, and I'm pretty much packing this right on the lid. I'm bringing it from the lid all the way up to the crease, and I'm pretty much stamping it on in there. Now, what you want to do is you can also spray your brush with a little bit of setting spray to make it even more like a paint. I'm also taking the shade Pure on a smaller, flatter brush, and I'm doing the exact same thing with the Fix Plus, just so that I can turn it into a paint, and I'm using this to pretty much create a half-cut crease shape. So what I'm doing is I'm keeping the lighter color in the inner corner and then darker when it comes to the outer corner. So I'm using Pure on the inner corner, I'm using Rustic on the lid itself, the middle of the lid, and then I'm using In the Zone right in the outer corner. Just to intensify everything a little bit more, I'm just using a little bit of Wiz, which is technically a black, on a smaller detail brush, and I'm concentrating that right in the outer corner. You can kind of see what I mean when it all just gradiates. It looks really nice, it looks faded. And again, going back and forth between using a couple blending brushes to make sure that everything is just diffused, blown out, and smoky. I'm now taking a makeup wipe, and I'm going to use this to remove the excess fallout from the rest of the face, and also I'm using it to create a cat eye shape as I pretty much just bring it all the way up to the temple. And then I'm taking the Urban Decay Glide On Slide On pencil in the shade 0, and I'm lining the top of her lids using that. And then I'm taking the Morphe 35O palette and using this chocolate shade on a little flat brush. I'm first gonna stamp this color right on the liner to really get it in there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take a fluffier brush and pretty much smudge this out using a little bit more of that chocolate brown shade. To finish off the eyes, I'm adding these lashes from M.A.C Cosmetics in the style Fearless, and then Better Than Sex mascara to top it all off.
Paint the skies, only you.
Now, to start off with the rest of the face, I'm actually gonna go ahead and prime her face using the Fenty Beauty primer. Now, I love this because it literally suits every single skin type. It is water-based, so it is hydrating but mattifying at the same time. And then just to hydrate her face a little bit more to give her a little bit of a glow, I'm using Fix Plus by M.A.C and prepping her skin using that. And moving on with her Kat Von D foundation in the shade Medium 53, I'm gonna go ahead and use a beauty blender and press that into her skin. Now, you can use a brush if you want to. However, this foundation is a little bit more on the thick side, so I prefer using a sponge, so that way it all presses into the skin very nicely and it gives her a more flawless and airbrush complexion. I'm also taking a little bit of the foundation and just carving out her brows using that, using a little bit of a flat brush, and just blending the foundation out again with a sponge. Now, to brighten and conceal, I'm actually going to be using Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Medium Honey. I'm going to go ahead and use my E23 brush from Morphe and just put this under the eyes and the T-zone as well. And then go ahead with the Beauty Blender and blend it out all again. Now, to set everything, I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier Translucent Powder, and I'm going to be using the Beauty Blender to really press this on her skin. Now, I'm only going to be setting the areas that she might get creasing and a little bit more oily. So only the nose, under the eyes, the little bit of the forehead, and a little bit on her chin. However, I'm leaving the rest of the face intact. For the rest of the face, I'm actually going to be using a fluffy brush. Now, what I'm doing is I'm taking whatever's left over from the bake and spreading it all around. So, 1, I don't end up wasting product. 2, everything is blended out into the skin very smoothly. Eyebrows can tend to get messy during the foundation process, so I'm going to go ahead and take her Morphe pomade and use this to fix up her eyebrows a little bit more. To finish off the eye, I'm going to go ahead and finish off with the under lash line. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the shades that I use on the upper lid and just bring them down below. So I'm starting off with Brick first. Then I'm taking the In the Zone shade and keeping this a little bit more towards the outer corner and blending it inwards, and then keeping Wiz very close to the lash line. Now, to refresh her face, I'm going to be doing one last spritz of the MAC Fix Plus before we get started on her contour. And for her contour, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit. I'm going to take the top middle shade and just go on her cheekbones, in the temples, and in the jawline using this shade and a fluffy angled brush. And just to intensify the contour a little bit more, I'm actually going to be taking my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Bronzer in the shade Give Me Sun and going right about her cheekbones, the temples, and the jawline again. I just wanted her to have some color in her face and for her to look a little bit more bronzy. Don't forget to also hit the nose using the same bronzer / contour. Now, for her blush, I'm going to be using the Champagne Collections Face Palette, which is a collaboration with Jaclyn Hill and BECCA. I'm going to be using the warm middle shade, which is called Amaretto, and I'm using this to add some color into her cheeks. And then I'm going to take the Hustla Baby highlighter by Fenty Beauty and apply this right on her cheekbones and her temples to give her that glow. Don't forget to take the highlighter and also put this right in the inner corners of the eyes. Now, this usually tends to open them up a little bit more, make them look a little bit more wide awake. And also don't forget to take the highlighter on the tip of the nose and the cupid's bow to make them stand out a little bit more. Now, to finish off the look, I'm actually taking the lipstick shades 2, 3, and 5 from the Anastasia lip palette and applying this to her lips. And that is it for the final look. Now, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to give it a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Now, if you want to follow me on any other social media, the links will be down below, as well as the list of products that I use in this video. I want to say a huge thank you to my friend Dahlia for being the perfect model for this video. Honestly, she slayed the look, and she was so much fun to work with. Thank you so much for being my model again, and I love you, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will hope to see you next time, and bye.
I'm making my cheeks too.
Macaroni noises. the insert macaroni noses here. A gypsy, the one who supposedly was sick and everything. She was literally like in front of the mirror doing her bomb ass makeup with the knife like dripping blood right next to her, and I was just like, that's a mood. Yes, boo.
Goddamn.
Yes, boo.